Parliament for the Tamale Central Constituency, the Honorable Alhaji Inusah Fuseini. Alhaji, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. Alhaji, good evening.
Very well.
Did you watch yesterday's vetting of the Chief Justice nominee?
I watched briefly.
It appears that that's where it started from, and now the majority leader is reporting his colleague on the other side to the Speaker for possible referral to the Committee on Privileges because he believes that there's been a breach. Now the Speaker himself also did not have very good words or kind words for what happened yesterday at the Appointments Committee, and even went ahead to apologize to the judiciary and its head, the Chief Justice. The relationship between the two, the majority and minority leaders, appears to be a bit frosty based on what we saw yesterday. How do we deal with that?
So, Umaru Sanda, the two events, even though there is some level of nearness to proximity to time, it appears to be unrelated. Whereas yesterday's event was triggered by Article 144(1). This one they are referring to is on the basis of the standing orders of Parliament, challenging the authority of Parliament, which is an affront to the dignity of Parliament. So they are two unrelated events. Yesterday was the meeting of the Committee of Parliament, the Appointments Committee of Parliament. Today, the matter he has raised is on parliamentary privileges, a breach of parliamentary privileges, which comes after in the order of business, which comes after the correction of rules and proceedings. So they are definitely two different sets of things. Well, the nearness might suggest that it's a carryover from yesterday's happenings at the committee level. I think that if indeed, and in fact, Afenyo Markin disobeyed the resolution of Parliament, that would be an insubordination to the orders of Parliament. And the Parliament of Ghana constituted a representation to the ECOWAS Parliament. And no one has authority to do that except the Parliament of Ghana. And if the Parliament of Ghana constituted an authority, a representation which did not include Afenyo Markin, then Afenyo Markin's presence there clearly would be an affront to the authority of Parliament to so constitute a committee of the ECOWAS Parliament.
Okay, how do these things work? A referral to the Privileges Committee, what's the consequence of doing that?
So
and what can lead to that?
Yeah, so if if the conduct of a member of Parliament is a subject matter of concern by another member of Parliament, which leads to the invocation of the relevant orders of Parliament for his conduct to be referred to the Privileges Committee, and that referral is done by the Speaker, then the Privileges Committee will be seized of the facts and then will inquire into the conduct of the Member of Parliament. The least punishment that he can get from the Privileges Committee is a recommendation that he be reprimanded. The most severe sanction is an expulsion from Parliament.
Okay, now the ECOWAS Parliament, how does it work? The House decides who should go, and if the person is withdrawn, okay, how does a person qualify to be part of the ECOWAS Parliament if they are a member of Parliament here, and at what time can the person be said not to go?
So, ECOWAS Parliament, just like the constitution of committees of Parliament, is part of the functions of the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. And so if the committee responsible for putting together the committees of Parliament, including the committee of parliament that will represent the parliament at the ECOWAS parliament or the AU parliament. That composition is done. In some instances, there's a guide. They might say the minority leader, the majority leader, the whip. There might be a guide. The committee might include a woman and all those things. So there might be a guide. In some cases, it is the discretion of Parliament. And Parliament will work within the leaders of the committee to constitute that committee and be brought before the plenary for adoption. And so, if the committee is so discussed and established by Parliament, it will be foolhardy on any member of Parliament to challenge the authority of Parliament, because that would have been the work of the committee that constitutes these committees of Parliament will be adopted by a resolution of Parliament, and so it becomes an act of Parliament, with a small a, act of Parliament. And so anybody who challenges that will be challenging the authority of Parliament to constitute the committee.
Okay, now you have said that what happened yesterday is not necessarily connected in any way with what happened today. Of course, that's the truth. I was just trying to look at a pattern that yesterday we saw the majority leader and some of the comments he made against the minority leader, or what he believed was the minority leader's conduct. Now, for him personally to be reporting his colleague on the other side to the speaker, it is a big deal. Often the front benches are supposed to work together to guide the speakership to govern the House. But where one leader is reporting the other, clearly it means there's a breakdown of consultations or understanding between the two sides. And that's what I wanted you to comment on.
Yes. So you see,
whether it should get to this.
Yes, I'm listening.
Yes, so whether it should get to where it has gotten to.
No, leadership of the House did not take up arms against each other. They work with the Speaker to maintain discipline in the House. So ordinarily, leaders of the House, you don't see them, apart from engaging in debate and theatrics on the floor of the House, you hardly see them taking the fight to each other. But Parliament has changed substantially. I mean, the Parliament has changed from the days that we were in Parliament. And so I'm not surprised. A leader of the House would not ordinarily bring himself within the ambit of the law to excite or motivate another member of Parliament to raise a matter of breach of conduct, parliamentary privilege by that leader. Because you have to lead and set the example. And so where the leader refuses, fails, or neglects to set that example, then he opens himself to the complaint, like the complaint filed by Honorable Mama Yerga. But the difference actually is Mama Yerga, Honorable Mama Yerga, the majority leader, and Honorable Afenyo Markin, the minority leader, have a responsibility by virtue of the offices they occupy in Parliament to ensure that the sanctity, dignity, and respect for Parliament is maintained at all times. This inheres in the office that they occupy. And so for a leader of a caucus to willfully disobey and the authority of Parliament and actually take steps to manifest that disobedience, it's a serious matter. It's just like in criminal jurisprudence, in criminal law, where a member of Parliament breaches a provision of a law that he himself, or by virtue of his position or status as a member of Parliament, is by inference responsible for the passage of the law, and then goes out of his way to breach the law. I mean, his punishment becomes harder I mean, the courts have always treated such breaches with some level of indignation. And so, if a leader of the House conducts himself this way, I mean, you don't expect him to have any sympathy from his colleague, the other leader. I'm sure if the majority leader had also conducted himself in a way that affronts the dignity and authority of Parliament, you do not expect him to have had any sympathy from the minority leader, and vice versa.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir. That's Alhaji Inusah Fuseini. He's former member of Parliament for Tamale Central. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 City FM.